My friend's got a podcast hosting subscription, and I think they're paying the normie tax. Here's my friend Early.
Hello, welcome back to Recovery Demystified. My name's Early. I'm so happy to have y'all here today.
Early isn't super techy. They just want to be able to upload their podcast episodes and have them distributed to all the different podcasting platforms. Right now, $12 gets you about 400 megabytes of uploads a month. And if you want to upload a little bit more, you got to pay a fee. That's like $150 a year. For a little bit of storage, that's crazy. So Cocky Me says, I'm pretty sure I can build a replacement for like $1 a month. Then I hung up the phone and I was like, ChatGPT, tell me how to build this.
Yeah, you've got to help us, Doc. We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
So the game plan is we just use this open source software called Castopod that handles the podcast episode uploads to all the different podcasting platforms for us. Then we also need some cloud storage so people can download the podcast from somewhere. So for that, we're going to use Cloudflare or 2. I don't know anything about podcasts, but if there's a chance that I can save my friend $150 a year, I'm going to try.
Mission 1, start.
Okay, Castopod. You can easily self-host Castopod on your own server using one of the following methods. I have Docker. Let's use Docker. I don't understand this.
I don't understand, bitch. I don't understand.
I'm asking ChatGPT how to install Castopod on my home server.
2 hours later.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
A few moments later.
Finally, fucking hell, that took forever. It's working on my home server. I feel like that should have been really quick. So we just completed step 1 of our 2-step plan. But while thinking about what I just installed, I realized this plan probably ain't gonna work. So I just realized how podcast hosting actually works is not what I thought it was. So what I thought incorrectly was that uploading podcasts would be the same thing like uploading a YouTube short. So you have your one little video clip and then you upload it manually to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, but you can get programs that automatically do it for you. I thought that Castopod would be doing the same thing, but for all the different podcasting platforms. But that's not actually how it works. Castopod has to be on 24/7 on a home server or on a cloud server, and you need a website for it to live on too. But to be fair, I think the Castopod image and my made-up image are kind of the same vibe.
Don't you ever get tired of being wrong all the time?
Sometimes.
So now I'm like considering what is the actual use case for my friend Early, because Early doesn't have a home server. They're like off-grid in the middle of the mountains, living rugged in America. I mean, it's just a real-life tech project, never as smooth as you think when you start. But I kept on trucking with the project because I already had a call scheduled with Early in a couple of days, and I didn't want to show up completely empty-handed. So my next step was making a podcast to test with. What's my podcast called? Oh my god, I need a podcast cover. I don't think I'll be going with that one. Okay, good enough. Once I set up the podcast, then I had to upload an episode, which was actually really easy. I don't think I said before, but I started a second YouTube channel called Building Chinese Irish, so I just ripped the audio from those videos. Once you have your files ready, it's just like filling in a form. Okay, so episode has been successfully created. Let me listen. It's there. Publish. Write your message. Then to make my podcast feel like a real podcast, I needed to connect my home server to the internet while hiding my IP address. So I did that using Cloudflare tunnels. I got it working on my phone without Wi-Fi, just for mobile data. So it really lives online after all of that. If we just go to podcast.ChineseIrish.com, it comes up. There's my podcast. That's so cool. Activity, episodes, here we go. About. This is a podcast about open source software and saving money. Season 1, episode 1, first published. That's so cool. Hi, my name's Grace, and I'm trying to create a life on the internet without becoming an influencer. Oh my god, that's so cool. And it just plays. I find that very cool. Don't you, Mr. Charles? Mr. Charles finds it very cool too. And the next step was just as cool. I hate setting up accounts. And that's exactly what I did next. Or at least tried to. For some reason, Apple and Amazon keep freaking out on me, so I can't post my podcast there. iHeartRadio told me no. Region not supported. Do not allow accounts for your current location. But I did manage to get my podcast up on Pocket Casts, Deezer, and Spotify. There it is. So cool. I think it's pretty cool. YouTube is obviously cool because everyone looks at YouTube, but it's just like, oh, look at all these other platforms I'm on now. I just feel like an octopus. My hands and everything. Not only that, but while I was setting up all of these accounts, I actually did find a realistic, easy way for my friend to save $150 a year. So we did it. Oh my god. I thought, okay, Arlie doesn't have a home server, so as much as I'm for open source and stuff, I can't get them out of paying the subscription. But now I can. Basically, I haven't seen any other podcasting platform do this, but Spotify lets you upload your audio files to them for free. So not only does your podcast live on Spotify for free, they also give you a link so you can connect your podcast to other podcasting platforms. So you can still connect your podcast to Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pocket Casts, Deezer, whatever. So Spotify does this so that they can take a cut of your ad revenue. So if you're a big podcaster, maybe paying $150 a year is worth the money because you lose less money in ad revenue. But if you're just a little baby podcaster, just dabbling, I think uploading your own podcast to Spotify is probably the best and easiest way to go about it. That's crazy. So we did get a win. My feeling was just like, I'm confident. My original plan is this. That didn't work out. Anyway, let's finish the project and tell Early what's possible. And then it's like, oh no, we found a different way. So they still don't have to pay. And probably it's easier than what I was saying. Almost immediately after finding the solution, I had my call with Early. I was kind of too excited to share all of the lessons that I learned from doing this experiment that I just went on this big technical rant.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Then you don't need storage. And then, so I kind of looked it up a little bit more.
Grace, you in this spiel have cut out enough, like 4 or 5 times.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
That I think, no, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's my stupid bullshit Starlink.
So because Starlink was acting up and we couldn't do a phone call, I ended up just sending a bunch of voice memos explaining what the solution was in a more simplified way. And then Ernie sends me back this.
Everything that you're saying makes sense. And when you talk about it, like the amount of work that it would take, if it took me like longer than an hour a month to fuck with anything, it would be worth $20 that I pay.
You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now.
To be honest, I was a bit shook. I was like, you'd rather spend $150 a year just to get out of doing a little bit of configuration at the beginning, and then that's it. I was just like, what?
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
It took me a while to realize that I was coming at this project with my own biases. I had so many bad experiences with Microsoft and Adobe and Microsoft again, like overcharging me for stuff, that I just started to think like paying for subscriptions is just inherently not a good deal when you're dealing with tech. And then building my home server and kind of being more introduced to the world of open source software, I was like, it just makes total sense. Like, just go with open source stuff. Why would you pay for things if you can get the same functionality for free with open source software or some other free software? From that point of view, I thought paying for software that provides features that you can get somewhere else for free is not a good deal. So Early's not really paying for the features themselves, they're paying for the managed service to just not have to do a bunch of the configuration. And for them, that's a totally great deal. So from that perspective, I totally get it. Not all digital subscriptions are scammy. Managed services, if they deliver value, are totally worth the money. So like to early, it's totally worth like the $150 a year. For a while, and even going into the editing of this video, I felt like this was a failed project. But there are a lot of wins in this if I just look for them. A few days after the call with Early, I flew back to Ireland to spend some time with the fam. Normally when I'm on flights, I like to listen to audiobooks or random podcasts. But this time, I decided to listen to my own podcast. I kind of thought that it would be a bit cringe listening to my own voice, listening to my own podcast. But because I have the memory of a goldfish, it felt quite novel and relatable to me. So yeah, I really enjoyed it actually. Early also texted me saying that they like my podcast, so that was also really cool. These videos I try to make really engaging, high energy, like cut. But you know, it's nice to have a podcast where you can just kind of like slow down and chill and really like kind of share what's on your mind. So if you want to check out the podcast, I have the links in the description. Oh, and one last thing. In between last video and this video, I managed to hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much to everybody for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Now, on the road to 10K. Let's make it happen. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching and hope you have a good day. Bye bye.